Hi, my name is Kathy Fosno. Welcome to Kat's Creative Corner. Today we're going to make this very simple yet elegant card. Let's get started. First we're going to need a piece of Whisper White cardstock cut at 5.5 by 8.5. And we're going to put a crease in it at 5.25. We're going to use our bone folder to sharpen that crease. We're going to set that aside. We also need a sheet of 5.25 by 4-inch So Saffron cardstock and a second piece of Whisper White cardstock cut at 5 and 3 3/4 inches. Okay. We're going to be using our aqua painters today, and the aqua painters they're in the annual catalog, and they come in a set of 2 with 2 different size tips. One tip is quite a bit larger than the other, as you can see. Now they do get a little stained through time, but that's not to worry as long as you brush it and make sure no color comes out. Inside each aqua painter is a tank, a little tank that you can fill with water. And then you use them as paintbrushes. Okay, so we're going to start with our Whisper White sheet cut at 5 and 3 3/4. And we're going to use the Sweetbriar Rose stamp set that comes in the annual catalog. It's kind of shiny for you. Okay, and these stamp sets only come with wood mount. So Stampin' Up! Does that sometimes with their larger stamps because it gives a better sturdiness to the stamp. Excuse me. So I'm going to take Versamark, which is a sticky substance that holds embossing powder, and I'm going to stamp on it, but I'm trying to avoid the word because as you'll see, the stamp has the word Sweetbriar Rose. So I'm going to cover that with a little bit of Scotch tape just so it doesn't come out on my paper. And I'm going to stamp just about in the middle, maybe a little higher up than the middle. And I don't think you can see that, but it's shiny. Okay, and then we're going to take our white embossing powder. We're going to spread it all over our image. I always give it a little flick for any extra that comes on it. And then we're going to put the embossing powder back in the jar that we didn't use and set that sheet of paper aside. And then we're going to use our heat tool to heat it and to melt the embossing powder until it becomes a shiny image. Sorry for the noise, it does make a lot of noise. I love embossing. It's like watching something just take hold and take shape, and it's just so pretty. It's better when you have a darker color though, you can see it. Okay, so that's all melted. And now I'm going to take I want the smallest head on the brush. And I'm going to use my So Saffron Classic ink pad, and I'm going to squeeze it to where I'm getting some ink on the lid. You can see I've done this a few times. So I'm going to I'm not pushing any more ink or any more water out. My brush is already damp and I don't want it too damp. This isn't watercolor paper, so I'm just brushing it, and I want it to be darker in the middle, so I use a lighter touch as I go out. So that it looks more like a flower with the different variegated colors that come. Okay, there's one. I love roses. I love yellow roses best of all. When other women are wanting to have red roses on Valentine's, I'm always hoping I get yellow roses because I just think they're so pretty. I know they mean friendship in the flower world, but in my world, yellow is best. So it's my favorite color. And so if my husband is thinking correctly, he has yellow in my flowers that he gets me, and he almost always does. And I really appreciate that. Okay, so the flowers are painted. So we're going to take and close that. Make sure you close your cases so you don't drag a piece of your card out. And then we're going to take we're using wild wasabi. And I forgot to do this. Got to do the squeezing. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing on the vine in the leaves. I want it to be darker, and then I want it to get lighter as it goes outward. And the emboss part, the ink just rolls kind of off of it, and that's why we call it resist. Sometimes you might go out of line, and that doesn't hurt anything. It's watercolor, and watercolor goes out of the line. Anyway, my watercolor goes out of the line. I still haven't pushed any more water after all this watercoloring. I haven't pushed any more water into my brush. Just doesn't need a lot. So you can fill your tank here, and then it lasts quite a while. So you don't have to keep adding ink or water to your project. You don't have to get up and leave it. It's hard to talk and paint at the same time. I never knew that before. I'm doing this card for my stamp class this weekend. Looking forward to seeing all the ladies. We had a lot of fun our last one, which was my first workshop, and we decided we wanted to meet once a month. So that's always fun. If anybody's interested in joining me, you can give me a call. My phone number is on my website, and my email address is on my website. My website is catscreativecorner.com, and that's all with K's, because my name is Kathy and it starts with a K. My mother has called me Cat my whole life, so I wanted to use that little nickname in my business name. Okay, that looks about right. Okay, and now I'm going to clean my brush, put the lid back on. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Project Life corner cutter, and I'm going to put each corner in to the guidelines that are provided, and make sure you have it nice and snug against the guidelines to get a nice even punch. And you can kind of feel how it feels a little differently once you've got it in really good. See, I didn't have that one in real good. Okay. All right. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so next we're going to use, I'm using the Moon Lake stamp set, the Thinking of You. And I'm using Smoky Slate to stamp Thinking of You. I thought that was more, I'm sorry, it's not Smoky Slate, it's Basic Gray. And Basic Gray archival ink, and it's just not as harsh as black on a soft card like this, so I'm using that. And I'm going to put Thinking of You right in the corner. Okay, closing my ink up. Okay, then next I'm going to use my white glitter tape. Now this is a set of glitter tape that you can't buy right now. You have to get it free through Celebration. And Celebration is our 3-month-long sale starting in January. Unfortunately, it's almost over. March 31st, it's over. But if you spend $50 in either our annual and or our occasions catalog, you get something free if you spend $50. And this is one of the items. All three come together, and I just think they're so cool. Now, you can take this white tape and even color it with one of your markers to match the paperwork you're using. I don't happen to need to do that on this one, but I'm just going to put a little piece of tape across, and I'm just eyeballing it to make sure it's straight. And it tears like washi tape, and just fold it on down on the back. And there is your finished front piece. I'm going to tape that to, using my Snell adhesive, I'm going to tape it to the yellow. And I'm going to get right on the edges because since it is a little bit of watercolor, it can kind of be a little bit warped, so I like to make sure it sticks really well. So I'm going to put it right in the center of this sheet of paper. That was the So Saffron cut at 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And then I'm going to take my card base, and I'm going to again use my Snell adhesive to put it down. And you know, I have had this sitting out waiting for my class. I've been getting, I like to get everything ready ahead of time. And anybody that has seen it has just loved it. It's such a simple, basic card. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll also have a new Thursday tip on Thursday. Bet you figured that one out. You can also visit me at my website, Kat's Creative Corner, and you can find my shop there online. Just hit the word shop, and thank you for visiting.